got this sort of overall shape right here, and then we've got these limbs coming off. And so we start to think about what we can do first. Let's just start with this big overall shape. Now it is cut into a couple of pieces, but that's easier to do afterwards. We'll make the overall shape first. So we think about what kind of shape is this? We could use a cube, or we could use a cylinder. I'm going to use a cylinder to start this. So you kind of just look and see, what kind of primitive is close to the piece that I'm trying to create. So we're going to come up here, and I'm just going to create a cylinder. Now it's going to come in down here, so I'm just going to pull it up into position here. And we can come in, and I'm going to turn this back to lines so you can kind of see through it there. Now there are handles here. There are also, if we go into object, you can also change the radius here. So we can pull the radius down a little bit, take the height down a little. And so we want to just get it in a rough position. And it doesn't have to be exact, but I just want to get it close there. Okay, same thing on the side. Now right now you see there's a bunch of divisions here. We want to reduce that. So I'm going to take this down to maybe 16. And we don't need the caps, so I'll go ahead and take the caps off. So we just have this sort of hollow tube there. Now we do want to have a little bit more geometry in here because it's not a completely straight cylinder shape that we're trying to get. We're actually trying to shape this a little bit. And so right now there's no way to shape it because there's no lines in there. So we can come back to object and take our height segments, and we'll add, let's maybe add 5, let's do 6. So we'll do something like that, just so that they're nice and square shaped polygons. Now once we're ready, we've got everything ready to go. Let's take our primitive and turn it into an editable shape, because right now we can't go in and change any of the positions of the points or anything like that. So we're going to go to make editable right over here, top left. You can also hit C on your keyboard. And now we can work with the points or the edges. So let's come in from the side. I'm going to go to points, and let's choose rectangle selection, and I'm going to turn off only select visible elements. So then I'm going to come in and drag across, and then let's just scale down and move each one of these lines. So I'll kind of move this up a little bit, do the same thing here, and we'll just concentrate on one view at a time. And I'm just scaling it uniformly, so I'm not doing any sort of shaping other than just kind of scaling down that loop and moving it from this angle. So basically one axis here, or a couple of axes, but I'm really just moving it back and forth. I'm kind of come in and move it that way. You can see this one's still a little bit too big, so. And now when we come down here, I'll start to rotate it just a little bit to get the kind of shape that we want. We'll do the same thing down here. And I don't want that. I want the line to stay straight. I just want to rotate it. Kind of pull this up, and this one will kind of scale out a little bit. And then this one, kind of do the same thing. So just get kind of that rough shape of his body there. And then let's kind of pull this one down a little bit. It is faceted. You can see that it's kind of between those points. It's a little bit jagged. Okay, it's not completely smooth. Don't worry about that because we're going to be smoothing it at the end. Now we can come to the front, and you can see that it matches up pretty well. And you can see that my drawing is off a little bit, so we can always go back in to configure. And let me just offset this a little bit. It's not exactly in the middle. I think that's a lot better. And so we can come in here, and now I'm going to scale it just in one direction. So take it out in the x-axis. And then this one I think is okay, but I want to rotate it towards me a little bit. So something like that. Okay, and if we take a look at it, this is the basic shape that we get, which is a good starting point for our character's body. Okay, we can then build out the connection for the legs and that sort of thing. So in the next lesson, let's do that. Let's prepare an area for the legs to connect to.